Yeah, she gon' run it up, and she gon' run it up like this and like that.
Hey y'all, I am her, she is me, I am her, and we are back with another video. Welcome to Dear Diary. Off of YouTube for quite a bit of time, but we are back, y'all. The point of today's video is living a worldly life over the kingdom of God and struggling fighting the flesh. I'm also struggling with these things. I'm, walking this walk in real time, and with my situation, as of last year, going on to the beginning of this year, I was living, I ended up backsliding, and I was living a worldly life. So that's just something that I want to talk on, because God definitely slapped me upside the head and made me realize you cannot serve two masters, and you need to choose one. In Matthew chapter 6 verse 24, he says, "No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and be enslaved to money." As I was off of YouTube, I backslid in July. So during the summertime, I was partying, doing my thing, and then about August I ended up moving out. About around September, October, November, I started my business. So my life continued to progress, and I have my vision board here because this was my vision board from last year, and God gave me everything that my heart's desired. But by the end of the year, I felt so empty and I felt so depleted. And that's where Matthew chapter 6 verse 24 comes in, where it's saying, you can't serve two masters. You cannot be devoted to one, you cannot be devoted to the other. For you will hate one or the other. And that's kind of how I felt last year, where I was just in the middle, and I was just in this lukewarm stage of I loved God, and I was always speaking about God. There's never a time where I'm not speaking about God. I could be lit and I'm still speaking about God. I could be smoking and I'm still speaking about God. People know that I love God, because that's literally all I talk about. So in that sense, I did say my yes to Christ. I did, I wanted to be a Christian. I want to be a Christian. I want to walk in his righteous way. I want to walk the straight and narrow. But my life was not glorifying that. And my flesh and its desires and its sinful natures were my driving factor. Even the things that I wanted were my fleshly desires. Me moving out was through my fleshly desires. Me starting my business at the time was my fleshly desires. And not to say down the road I'm not gonna get my own crib, and I'm not, even the job that I had at the time, that was through my fleshly desires. So everything that I had last year was because of me, and because I wasn't patient, and I wasn't trusting in God, and I didn't build a firm foundation in God. And by the end of the year, I literally felt empty. I felt depleted. My confidence was gone, literally gone. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I just felt so empty. And then that was something that I thought that I wanted, because I missed the world. I missed my past life. I missed who I was. And when I thought I had God, I really thought I would have been more well equipped to deal with some of the people that I was dealing with, because in a way I had this savior complex where I wanted to show these people who God was and show them the straight and narrow, but you know, two cannot mix. And you know, you do have to still have boundaries. You still have to limit yourself. You still have to take a step back. You still have to let all of that go. And honestly, it's quite prideful to think that like you're gonna be saving anybody, because that's not your job. Yeah, I'm basically making this video to just really be an example, even though I'm putting my business out there, to just like choose, like really pick and choose and stop conforming, because that's what I did. I just felt so out of place, and I wasn't able to be, I feel like in a way I wasn't able to fully be myself around these people, because you know, the stares that I would get, or the opinions that I would get, or people like telling me like, you don't gotta, leave all that stuff behind, like you could still have fun. And you know, like our definitions of fun, completely two different definitions of fun. I find fun in reading my Bible. I find fun in worshiping. I find fun in just like being away, being like in peace, like, you know, having gentleness, having like love. Like I'm in a good space and I have a good hub around me. Praying for everybody. I'd be praying for everything. Still learning. But I definitely think I did a disservice to God, because I feel like I displayed him as like this, like, oh, like, you know, I had this enlightenment that I still do have, but how I was coming off on my channel and like, you know, when I first started, in a way, I feel like I also needed to show like God is also like putting your, like going through the ringer, going through the dirt, really like warring and having warfare, like going through some things with him, and like actually suffering with him. And that word in biblical terms, it means something completely different than like the word of like the worldly word of suffering. Like it's completely different. And my definitions of suffering is good. Like for me, suffering with God is like it's a good word for me. Like that means like, you know, when I'm going through something, like I have God and I'm in my word, I'm in my Bible and I'm crying it out, and then by the end of it, I'm good and I'm straight. That's what suffering means for me. Is like I'm not gonna like, when I'm in a situation, I'm not gonna like use substances, or I'm not gonna like make bad decisions, but I'm gonna come to God. I'm gonna lay them down before God. Every situation that I have, I'm gonna come to him about it. Yo, this is my vision board. It's so pretty. And you know, people were saying last year like, oh, like you're doing so well. For me, I didn't feel like I was doing well. I don't care. I really don't care. I can have everything in this world, and if I do not have God, I don't want it. I don't want it. I could be the richest person in the world, and if I do not have God, I don't want it. Because I've had these things, like, you know, I moved out, I started my business, people are saying, oh, like, so inspirational. Ooh. And it didn't feel like that for me. I feel like I was out of my element. Like God is like literally something that I only want, and it's all I want. So yeah, we're trying this thing again, because God humbled me and brought me back to this stage again, where yes, I do need to deal with my people-pleasing nature. Yes, I do need to give up my old life. Yes, I still need to die to my flesh daily when it comes to my sinful nature. Like, there's things that I definitely do need to deal with, but this time, y'all, I'm in my Bible, y'all. I'm actually in my Bible this year. It's not intimidating as it was when I first started my YouTube channel. That's why I also feel like I did a disservice, because during that time, yes, I love God, but like I wasn't in my word. This time I'm actually plugged into my word, so we're trying it again. No matter how many times I have to try it again and try it again and try it again, I'm just so thankful that he gives me grace every time that I fall, and he's always gonna be there. But I'm not gonna take advantage of him as I did before, thinking, you know, he's always gonna be there. Because this time I feel like he's really gonna be like, yo, like, if you don't choose me, I'm gonna dip out on you, and then I'm gonna have to be stuck in the world. I don't want that. One of the stories that I actually wanted to talk about, because I feel like I was Lot's wife, and I'm not trying to be Lot's wife. I don't want to be turned into a pillar of salt. I should be cracking myself up. Me and God, we be cackling. But it's in Genesis 19, the story of like God was going to destroy Sodom, and he sent angels to go like save Lot and his family, and brought them out of the land of Sodom. In Genesis chapter 19 verse 16, but he hesitated, so the men seized his hand and the hand of his wife and the hands of his 2 daughters, for the compassion of the Lord was upon them, and they brought him out and put him outside the city. When they had brought them outside, one said, escape for your life, do not look behind you, and do not stay anywhere in the valley. Escape to the mountains, or you will be swept away. Then the Lord rained on Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. Verse 26, but his wife from behind him looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. God literally saved you and brought you out of this land that was about to be destroyed, and you decide to look back. What is you looking back for? And that's literally with me in my situation. Why do I keep looking back, and why do I keep having these desires for people in places that literally don't serve me no more? Like, when am I going to learn? And I'm not even trying to put myself out there too much, where like, you know, I'm gonna like parade myself in front of you guys like a clown or whatnot, but like, when am I actually going to learn that I just cannot hang out with the same people no more? I cannot have, you know, I still have love for these people. Like, in my heart, I'm forever going to have love for like the people and like my old life in a way. But at the same time too, at some point I gotta lay it down. I literally got to lay it down. So this year, that's it. That's what I'm working on. And after this video, I'm actually going to pray, because this is a big step for me to even like want to get back into YouTube. I've actually been MIA for 2 months now, because that's something that I do. I isolate myself. Been off social media. People don't know where I am. I actually moved back home. I mentioned that I moved out. I moved back home. That only lasted 6 months. Or how many months. I moved back home, yes. But don't get on me, because the same place where you left me is not going to be the same place that you find me. Trust me, I'm always growing, whether it's internally, physically, whatever. But this time, I'm not making no promises. But thank you for tuning in. Stop doing things through your fleshly desires. Do it God's way. Be patient. Suffer with him. Do the work. Build a firm foundation in him. Let go of the world. If you want to walk with Christ, walk with him. Choose him. Stop having one foot in the door and one foot out the door. Please learn from my situation, because He's always slapping me outside of the head. And I do like feel conviction. I do feel the discernment, but I need to like be better with using it. When it comes to certain things, I really have to have those boundaries. I have to choose God over everything. So we're practicing the fruits of the spirits this year. You know, this year we're practicing self-control. So for y'all, because I'm putting my business out there, hold me accountable. If any of y'all who are watching this video know me, hold me accountable. Be like, hey, like, you said you quit this, you said you quit that, you said you stopped doing this, why are you doing that? If you see me doing things that are not, you know, that are against the word, correct me, check me. But thank you for tuning in, and I cannot wait to make more videos. I'm excited. You know, we're gonna try to be more consistent this time. Like I said, this is like a rededication to God again.